Sky Squad, what's going on? We are back in the building. I'm so glad to be back home in good DC. But let me tell y'all something, Chicago. I had a blast. But I'm glad to be back with my family, y'all, here in the DMV with y'all going over Married to Medicine Season 8 Reunion Part 1. And boy, we got some things to talk about today, okay? We got some things to talk about today. Listen, before we get into this, make sure you dive right on in that good chatterization and let us know where you guys are watching from. I see y'all. Come on, Bowie, Maryland, right down the street. Hello, come on, Pittsburgh, Robin Goose. We got, who else? New Orleans in the building. Philly, I see you. Arlington, Virginia. Come on, Manchester, UK. Hey, Poconos, Alabama into his naive. Prairieville, come on now. Augusta, Georgia. Hey, South Africa, I see you. Come on, Long Island. Philly. Oh, Raising the Roof in Canada, Jefferson City. Come on, man. Come on. I see we got DC and Raleigh Knox in the building. Raleigh Knox of Raleigh Knox Couture, who designed that good Toya Bush Harris's reunion look. Okay. Who else we got? We got Cleveland, Ohio. How can I forget Toya Bush Harris and Dr. Simone's reunion looks? Come on, Riley. Houston, Texas in the building. Who else we got up in here? Trinidad. I see you. Sierra Leone. Come on now. Honolulu, Hawaii. I see y'all. Listen. Okay. I might have to give y'all a little recap of Chi-Town, but again, I'm glad to be back. Okay. Let's get into this review for Married to Medicine. Now, before we dive right down into it, okay, we got to talk about Dr. Scott, okay, because he is back on the gram, and I hadn't even known he had taken a break because I don't follow him, and that's no shade or nothing like that. I just didn't know he had an Instagram. Now, somebody happened to tag me on a post that he made last night, and I want you guys to take a look at it, okay? Because what we're talking today is separation and lies, okay? Where does the lies come in at? Okay, well, it come in right here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this picture is credit of Sterling Pics right here, but it is on his Instagram, okay? Now, he was styled apparently by the real No IG Jeremy. I wanted to give the credits where credits were due, okay? But I also really wanted to point out what we have here, which is a statement from Dr. Scott Metcalf. And he says this. He says 100% facts. I have never had a female life coach that I met online. Okay. Then he says, I was just speaking out of anger. 2, my kids know that mommy is my only girlfriend. Awkward joke that went wrong on film. Let's get into it. Okay, first things first. Let's go ahead and address a couple of things. Now, the caption of his post reads, breaks over. I'd rather take my time to clear my head than respond to bullcrap. Scott, okay, let's just call out the thing. It's not bullcrap because you were the person who said each and every one of these things. You said it. We did not make this up. We in the streets didn't make it up. We took what you said verbatim on the screen and then we talked about it. So you can't blame us for the fact that you said these things on camera. You said that you were talking to a female life coach. You told that to Contessa. You told her that you had met this woman for about 7 months ago and y'all been talking for about 7 months. That's what you said on camera. So right now, what you're telling us is something different. So if you're saying facts, I have never had a female life coach that I met online. Okay, there's a part of that may be truth, and there's a part of that may be a lie. The part of that may be the truth is you may not have had a female life coach, meaning that if we're talking in the scheme of have, meaning as in I'm paying for, okay, you might not have been paying for the life coaching sessions, but your show doggone well enough did tell us that you were talking to a life coach for the free, okay? That's what you said. So somewhere up in there is a lie, okay? The next thing that you said is, My kids know that mommy is my only girlfriend. Awkward joke that went wrong on camera, on film. Now, okay, that could be fine too. I mean, you know, as people who get married, you might want to refer to your husband or to your wife as your girlfriend or your boyfriend because y'all should still be dating. I get that and I understand it. But the way you use that joke on camera, not once, not twice, but I think it was 2 or 3 times that we heard that reference being made to mommy and then girlfriend and whatever, and the kids joking about it. It was on camera a couple of times, Scott. It was on camera a couple of times. So what you're presenting to us as bullcrap now is everything that you actually said on the camera when the cameras were rolling. Now it's bullcrap. Come on now. Come on, man. Listen, we're going to be with you when you're right, but not when you're wrong. Okay? Not when you're wrong. T-Ness, thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, Richie Skye Squad in the house. Love you right back, boo. And okay, you ain't even addressing the fact that there was another woman's photos in your phone, that you guys were allegedly arguing about other women's being in your phone and that having inappropriate photos, not to mention the fact that you had a photo of somebody that you was trying to hire in your phone. That don't sound right. That sounds like an HR issue to me. But anyway, what do I know? I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. That's all I'm saying. It just don't make sense to me. Y'all ready to get into this review? Let's get into it because we got a lot to cover. First things first, I didn't get home last night until about 1:30 in the morning. So I wasn't able to watch the episode last night, nor was I able to watch the BET Awards. But congratulations to Cardi B for announcing her pregnancy. Now, with that being said, I literally just watched the episode just a few moments ago. So my thoughts is fresh. Okay. So let's get down into it. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you guys rate part 1 of the reunion? Give me your rating review for part 1 of the reunion. For me, I'm going to give it a 9. Mostly because honestly, I feel like the real drama and the real tea is going to come from next week's episode. So in my mind, I'm preparing to give next week a 10. But this week, I just felt like it didn't hit me like I needed to hit. Okay, it didn't. Oh, guys, a couple of 10s. Okay, it didn't give me everything that I needed to give, but it gave. If that makes any sense, you know what I'm saying? It gave me something. I was satisfied. Right, they did resolve some things. Sort of, Tish, you hit the nail on the head. Some things were somewhat resolved. So I always like that because when we talk about reality TV shows. Yes, I mean, at least here, we'll talk about a little bit of the scandal, or if there is some to talk about, but we'll also talk about the issues and the drama and the resolve, okay? Because when we talk about reality TV in this context, we, the audience, tend to like if there is fun, a little bit of shade, a little bit of drama, but there has to be resolution along with that drama. Otherwise, we, the audience, are not satisfied. We have another super chat from Glenda who says, Scott is another Martell, pictures of other women. What else is he lying about? Just saying. I get it, Glenda. Thank you for that super chat. Listen, the funny thing about it is I don't even dislike Dr. Scott. I still like Dr. Scott. I just think that he's making the wrong moves, but we'll get into it. Okay. We start off with the reunion set. Okay. The reunion set is supposed to be a replica of the Capitol Mall because, as you guys know, in DC, we have the whatever you call that pool or that whatever that thing is. It's not a river, the lake, or the pond, or whatever it is. Okay, we got that down on the National Mall. Okay. We also learned that Dr. Heavenly's husband, Dr. Damon, is not going to be present because Dr. Heavenly's son ended up having to go to the hospital just days before the reunion. So we are happy to hear that he is okay in this moment, and happy to hear that everything went well with that. We do the obligatory panoramic montage and what it was like during filming. And what I can say safely about this show is that, and I said it before, it really proved to me that we cannot use, you got to reflect and pull. Thank you. Y'all be on it. Let me tell y'all something. I love y'all. Y'all just get me. Y'all just get me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like no other show should be able to use the excuse of we were filming in a panorama. That's why, the episodes or the season was not as good as it should have been. Okay. Because this is a series, a franchise that happened to thrive during a pandemic. And whether or not that's the credit of the production company, and if it is, kudos to the production company, because you guys made it do what it do. And kudos to the ladies for actually delivering. I'm sure it may have been difficult to do so, but they did it, and they did it very well. We start with Anila's package and with Toya's friendship. They're finally, we learned that Anila is finally moved into her new home for $3 million. There is some shade from some of the viewers that comes in via Andy, and they say that, Anila is always talking about she has to try to be able to afford this $3 million home. And if you got to talk about it like that, maybe you can't afford it. She says that she was just joking. Okay. We learned that Toya has not been invited to the home. Okay. Anila says that she paid the hair and makeup artist on time. Now, this whole situation has come up. For those of you guys who do not remember, it was brought to the forefront that Anila, after they left DC, had not paid the hair and makeup artist that Toya had arranged for her. Now, this situation has taken quite a few twists and turns, and we got a lot more information that we had not gotten before tonight. So let's get into it. Now, Anila brings out some receipts. She has some CVS receipts that she got in her hand. I was looking for some receipts. Y'all know them CVS receipts be long, okay? But the thing about it is she has receipts that indicated that she paid. Now, I don't know what the date on those receipts were, because those receipts could have been from yesterday, okay? Or 3 weeks before the reunion, okay? Now, we know that they filmed this in the 2020, in the summer and the fall of 2020. So if you paid in February, but your services was rendered in September, that's still a problem, Miss Anila. There's still a problem. Now, quiet as it's kept, what I could do right now is I could just call up the hair doc, because we learned that it was the hair doc that was also not paid in this whole scheme of the not paying situation. Because Toya's statement to her is, you may have receipts that you paid, but you didn't pay on time is the problem, okay? And the people had to actually text you and ask you, where is my money, girl? Where is my money? The money is funny because you ain't sent it yet, okay? Now, what we could do right now is we could just simply call up the hair doc, and I could just ask him myself, but I don't want to put Anila on blast like that and come to find out, when she actually paid, because we could get the date on that right now. But I don't want to do all that. I feel like that might just be a little, a little too much. And I like Anila. I really do. But y'all know how I feel. I go up about people not paying the people. You know what I'm saying? Because you should be paying the people. They do the work. They render the services. Pay the folk, okay? Just like you want to be paid from Lisa Nicole. Now, I could go down a rabbit hole, but I'm not going to do that. Meanwhile, I noticed that nobody is wearing Lisa Nicole. Why is that? Giselle wore Lisa Nicole. Nobody at the reunion is wearing Lisa Nicole. Why is that? Why couldn't Lisa Nicole be there and wear Lisa Nicole? Anyway, now Toya and Anila, they get into it because Anila says that her issue was that she was being put on blast in front of everybody for not paying the people, okay? And Heavenly tells Toya that she can't be so blunt with people. Now, Heavenly, I love me some you, but you blunt in front with everybody, Dr. Heavenly. You are. You ain't got no way. You ain't got no reason to talk, Miss Heavenly. Come on, Dr. Heavenly. You can't say that, because if it's good for the goose, it's got to be good for the gander. Okay, if you can do it, Toya could be a little off too. Okay, she could be a little aggressive as well. So Anila's issue is that Toya speaks aggressively to everybody. Now, we have seen examples of Toya speaking the aggressive to everybody. Remember when she yelled at Lisa Nicole on her Instagram live and told her to, what she told her? Did she tell her something? I can't even remember what she told her. She told her something. She yelled at her real nice and good. And we saw her yelling at Anila in a couple of episodes as well, and just speaking to her real nasty like. And so Toya does have an issue, okay? Simone then backs up Toya and says that Toya is not the most gentle person. I mean, duh, you don't say. But Andy encourages Toya to acknowledge how she treated Anila and to apologize. Now, she does apologize and they accept it. But I just want to tell y'all this, and this just kind of bothers me sometimes. You know, Andy, I felt like he forced Toya into that apology. Okay. I felt like because it felt forced, it didn't seem sincere to me. And this is no shade against Toya. It just seems like it was like, my boss told me to apologize, so I'm going to apologize to you. Okay. It didn't seem like it came from the genuine depths of her, I just want to apologize to you, homegirl, because I really miss you. It didn't feel like that. Okay. And that's just what it is. I mean, that's just me keeping it real. It didn't feel like that. But they end up hugging it out, you know, and all seems to be well with their spirits. Okay. For now. But I just want to tell y'all this. Come season 9, we need to watch this friendship. Let me tell you why I think so. Because in the group, when we look at the group dynamics right now off camera, and we look at the group dynamics on social media, and social media does play a big part in this show. And the reason why I want to say this is because similar to Dr. Scott and, you know, Contessa and how we view their relationship on social media, we can see clearly that Anila is very close with Dr. Heavenly and, you know, Quad and, you know, that whole group right there. And we don't really see her being pictured with Toya or Simone, and Toya and Simone seem to have their own little kind of clique going. So it'll be interesting to see how Anila balances walking the line, being friends because she's so new in this, right? So it'll be interesting to see how she walks that line of whose side is she really going to be on, because there's going to be more to come. You know what I'm saying? Just mark my words. If it doesn't make sense what I'm saying now, mark my words, come season 9. Okay. We'll see how this pans out in the next season. Now, Miss Quad joins the ladies. Okay. Andy asked her about her new house. Okay. Because we did talk about that, and we have to congratulate Quad on getting her new McMansion. Shout out to Quad for being able to do that. She did it on her own, and I think that's dope. Candace Hudson says, hey, Richie, hope you had a great time in Chicago despite the tornado warnings and rain. I briefly saw you at Starbucks on Saturday afternoon. Oh, my God. You should have said what's up, Candace. Yeah, it was crazy, man. Chicago, it was a tornado warning and everything. It was insane. It was insane. Thank you for the super chat, boo. Okay. So they bring up the live again that Toya was talking about Quad's apartment. Okay. Now, Sherry Morris, thank you so much for that super chat, love. We appreciate you as well. Andy asked Toya what she thinks about Quad no longer renting. Again, that's when they bring up the live. Toya brings up that they talked about that live later that same night. But Quad kind of steamrolled that conversation, so we really didn't get into that. But let me back it up. That live that Toya did with Simone when she talked about Quad's BS apartment, later on, Toya said in a different live closer to like a couple of weeks ago, I think, that she and Quad actually had a conversation that same night and she apologized. But that was never really brought out in the season, but I did want to point that out to you guys. They discussed Emoji Gate with Dr. Heavenly and Quad, where Quad posted that photo of her boo-boo of her booty from Tulum, and Dr. Heavenly did the hand emoji over the mouth. And Andy asked if Quad ever apologizes or owns her behavior. Quad acknowledges that she's not perfect and she's trying to grow. And she says that her and Heavenly are basically like sisters. To me, I can actually see, you can look on social media and tell that Quad and Dr. Heavenly are friends in real life. You can actually see it, you know, they hang out together. That's really apparent. And I like their relationship and their dynamic because I feel like they can throw shade at each other, but they can also take it and they can still be friends and still be cool. I like that. In the middle of the show, we get a Dr. Jackie skincare commercial for her new Skin Rhythm line with Volition Beauty. I was like, now this is some real boss type shit. Ooh. Listen, okay. First of all, y'all know I never curse on my live, and so that just slipped out my mouth. But I couldn't help myself. I was really, in my mind, I was like, Houseway, how she get a commercial in the middle of the show? Ooh. Side note, let me apologize right now to my mama because again, I hate that it even slipped out of my mouth, but I was so shocked. But I can't be mad at it. It's some boss level type stuff there. That's huge. That is huge. And we have never seen that on any of these other shows. Dr. Jackie being a Black woman, being a doctor, being an expert in her field, having that level of a commercial within her own programming on a major network like that is huge. I just haven't seen it before. I just haven't seen it before. So again, I apologize to y'all. Listen, I can admit I am not perfect. But at the end of the day, I can't even, you can't hate on that. You cannot hate on it. That was huge. That was huge. But then I had to wonder to myself again, and we talked about it before. I wonder how much of a cut that Bravo gets from that, if they get a cut at all. Because in my mind, it's so huge. I'm like, they got to be getting a piece of it. And so, excuse me for wondering, but I just wanted to know. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is some huge stuff right there. Again, I apologize, y'all. I'm so mad at myself right now. Anyway. After the break, we get a package of Toya's short temper with everybody, okay? Andy asks if she has any regrets. She seems highly emotional for some reason. And when a person seems uncharacteristically, Kat says, we appreciate you keeping it clean. One small slip up, no biggie. Thank you. Listen, Kat, thank you so much. I am so sorry, y'all. Okay, I'm moving past it. I'm always analyzing moments when people cry on television and I don't see real tears. And I could not tell if I saw a tear or not because she started dabbing her eyes beforehand. And somebody did tell me one time that for women, sometimes maybe the tear gets caught up in the mascara or the makeup. And so maybe the tear gets caught up in the eyeliner or whatever it may be. And so it never fully drops down the cheek. Okay. But I felt like I saw a tear. I can't tell. But I'm just telling y'all, I always look for the tear. And I do. I do. This is what it is. Because for me, I didn't understand why she was getting so emotional. Because it didn't seem to come from an emotional place. Now, let's get to what she had to say about her behavior. She begins to blame the pandemic because she says that her husband is the only ER doctor on the show. Now, what I will say is this. I understand the fear that comes with being married to or in a relationship with someone who works in an ER. I understand that personally. But what I also didn't seem to get is, her emotional response to it. It just didn't match to me. I didn't get it. I didn't understand. So, and maybe that's just me, and I don't want to sound insensitive, but I felt like Dr. Heavenly was correct when she said we were all going through that. We were all going through something because these were all doctors or they were married to doctors who were putting their lives on the line to work with patients during a pandemic. You understand what I'm saying? So I just I didn't really get it. And I did feel like, again, Dr. Heavenly was correct. They're all going through stuff. And Contessa said it as well. She called her out as well. Dr. Jackie says to Toya that what they all want is accountability. And then she basically says that Dr. Jackie has to walk Toya through what accountability looks like and what it sounds like. And finally, Toya goes down the line of what she shouldn't have done this season. Now, Simone says that Toya is looking for friendship and camaraderie. I do believe that. I do believe that Toya has a big heart. I do believe that Toya is probably one of those. I mean, she's a woman who loves her girlfriends. I believe that about her. But I also believe in some respect that there may have been some extra added pressure to deliver a great season amidst the pandemic. And I believe that sometimes when you are in front of camera crews, and trust and believe, I understand this part of it, you overreact to things that maybe you would not have ordinarily done otherwise. Okay. Charlotte Adams says, I think Toya is still grieving from losing her baby. I think COVID added an extra layer of fear to her life. She was so extra. I didn't know about that, to be fair. I mean, I didn't, and I and if that was the case, then I'm definitely sorry for her and her loss. Thank you, Charlotte Adams, for that super chat. And I think if that's the case, then that will definitely give us an extra insight as to what, what she may have been going through. Julia Adelman says, but Dr. Jackie never gave a sincere apology to Buffy. Now she's holding folks accountable. And you know what? Dr. Jackie, too, seemed to have needed to be coached on how to give the proper apology in that situation, because she gets a D+ on that apology to Buffy. To me, she gets a D+ on that one. So you are correct on that. Christina says she lost a baby before last season started filming. Oh, wow. 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 Okay. Okay. I honestly did not recall that, to be honest with you. And if that's the case, then wow, it does add another layer to what she could have been experiencing. And I almost wish she had said that, because that would have probably gone a long way towards maybe explaining what she may have been thinking or feeling, as a reminder to those of us who may listen. We talk about a lot of different things on these channels and we watch a lot of different shows. And so it could have served as a nice reminder, not a nice reminder, but a reminder to people that, hey, I've been going through deeper stuff than what you guys saw on the screen. Bruce says, her and Heavenly being at odds affected her a lot. Did you see the preview for part 2? Contessa just gives me what I want. Gives me that I want your advice, but I'm not going to take it, Bob. I've got to wait 2 weeks till July 11th. I know. Oh, we're going to talk about that in a second. We're about to get to it now. Quad wants to chime in, but Andy has other plans and is like, no, girl, we got to talk about Toya and selling this house, and if you're selling it or not. Toya gives the same answer that she's given before, in that she felt like other people in the neighborhood were getting a lot of money for their homes. So she felt like she wanted to get in on it as well. Okay. So I will be honest with you guys. I do not yet own a home. I'm in the process of beginning my search for one. But so I don't really know what that home buying process is like, and in my mind, it's like to have gone through the trouble of building your dream home. It seems like a lot to me, because I don't want to be moving all the time. I mean, for real, let's call a thing a thing. Let's call it what it is. And I understand if you got money, fine, you hire movers and stuff like that, but it is still a stressful process. So I do not want to be moving all the time. Once I build my dream home, I'm trying to stay there for some time so I can build up, everything that you need to build up when you're building up a home. And for real, I just don't see the logic in it. But hey, listen, again, she's a homeowner, so maybe that's it. You know, I don't know, but I don't want to be moving all the time. Okay. Anyway, we go into the ladies kissing each other and stuff like that. And honestly, I'm uninterested because it seems like filler. We get to finally discussing Contessa and Scott. Andy asks, does she think that Scott is cheating? Okay. Contessa says today, no. Okay. That means at some point in time, you did think so. Okay. And was it when you was in the room yelling while y'all was in Jekyll Island like Carrie told us? But at some point you did. She does think that he has inappropriate relationships, but she doesn't know that if the fact that she thinks that those relationships are inappropriate even matters to him. Simone chimes in that if she feels that what is happening is inappropriate, then her husband needs to respect and receive what he's saying. And I totally agree. You know, for me, it's like this thing that I always say. If you are in a situation and you and your best friend or you and your friend or whatever it is, or relationship, and your friend tells you, what you did hurt my feelings. If you know that you didn't mean to hurt that person's feelings, and if you didn't see how it did, that really doesn't matter, because what ended up happening was, as a result of whatever you said, it hurt their feelings. Now, to me, it's more important to rectify the situation than to be right. So in that situation, for me, I always feel like it's my obligation to remedy the situation. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. Because saying I'm sorry is free. Okay. It don't cost you nothing. Okay. It'll chip away a little bit at your ego, but you probably didn't need that piece of your ego anyway. So in this situation, I feel like if your husband or your wife tells you that something that you're doing is bothersome to them, at that point in time, it's really up to you to say, you know what? Okay, well, okay. All right, then. That's not something we about to continue doing. Okay. And Simone knows because she's been in that situation. Now, Contessa says, well, how do you make him respect you like that? And then Toya says, hold him accountable. Now, the fact that she is having to ask this question is bothersome to me. It's bothersome to me because in my mind, that screams that there is some level of disrespect, manipulation, and maybe gaslighting that is going on, that so much so that she doesn't feel like what she thinks or says even matters. That's very sad to me. Simone goes in on this topic, and Andy gives the example of Dr. Simone and Cecil when he had the golf buddy that he was spending all that time with. Simone says it took 5 years and me basically preparing to divorce him for him to realize that that situation was something that needed to end. And at this point, when you get married, that relationship has to become the top priority, not any other relationship that you got going on out there, especially if it makes your spouse uncomfortable. Okay. Contessa Dr. Jackie is confused by Contessa's actions, and she reasons that Scott may be confused as well. So what Dr. Jackie is saying is, in one degree, you are upset and you're feeling some type of way about the marriage. But then on social media, you're going out and you're celebrating together. And Contessa gets very defensive to me because she's like, well, what am I supposed to do? You know, I have kids. You know, am I supposed to be mad all the time? Okay. Andy asks if the divorce word has come up. Contessa says, all these ladies are my friends, And then she thanked them for keeping her secret. But then she says, any of these ladies can answer that question. Now, I don't know if anybody else found that a little odd. So apparently, while all this was going on and playing out on the show, if what I'm hearing is true, then that would seem to mean that somewhere in the past couple of weeks, she has filed for a separation, because the next thing Quad says, we most certainly can. Contessa has moved forward with filing for separation. Now, when did you file? Was it yesterday? Was it 2 days ago? Was it 3 days? Was it a week ago? And did Scott know? Because Scott, the guys are shocked, and Dr. Scott says he's going to leave if she's talking this type of ish because it's a sneak attack. So I'm thinking to myself, it was, first of all, odd that she could not answer the question herself. It's your truth to tell. It's not Quad's. And she's letting us know that everyone, all the ladies knew. Did Scott not know? Or was he acting shocked behind the scenes? This was very confusing to me. Bruce, thank you for the super chat, who says that wasn't Quad's story to tell. Contessa was wrong for allowing that. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why she was letting Quad speak for her in that moment, because again, it is her story to tell. I don't blame Quad for being the person to speak up. I just find it odd that she had to do that. She was that person. And already you could tell that the rest of the ladies knew, because we saw Dr. Jackie, and as we see right here, we saw Dr. Jackie crying. We saw Dr. Heavenly crying. So they already had to have known. How did Scott not know? It didn't make no sense to me. It was just so odd. It was very, very odd. And so we learned that now she's getting a separation, which, the news came out over the weekend because they released the preview for it over the weekend. And I was running around Chicago, running from a tornado. But so I didn't have a chance to really talk about it, but we'll talk about it now. I just think that it's such a crazy situation for you to, I don't know, something is missing. I'm missing something. And maybe we'll get more of it next week, because next week the guys are going to storm the stage or whatever. And, they're going to continue to hash out the issues. But it was just very odd to me. I don't know how to make sense of it. I wish I did for you guys, because I'm just trying to wrap my brain around it. It was so many layers to it. The fact that the ladies knew, Quad is speaking for her. She didn't want to speak for herself. She's clearly upset. The other ladies are crying. Scott's acting surprised. The rest of the men are acting surprised. What is really the truth? So I don't know. And again, I love Dr. Scott. I love Dr. Contessa together, but I'm missing something here. Okay. I am missing something. Now, Ciola Pinson says, Contessa sounds like any woman who loves her husband and who wants to keep her marriage together and is emotionally invested by herself. Skye is making it extremely difficult for her. What I will say is this. There is one more thing that I want to say about it. She does seem like she's in a position almost to where she has minimized herself as a woman, as a mother, to the point where she feels as though all that matters is that she is the mommy to some beautiful kids, and that she is nothing else in that situation. That is how she is reacting in this situation. And I'm saying that based on the things that she's saying. She's saying in the preview, in the previews for next week, I don't matter. I don't want to call it what it sounds like to me, but it sounds like some type of emotional abuse or manipulation is going on. And I'm not saying that it is. I'm just telling you what it sounds like. And I don't like it. Okay? I don't like it. And I fear for her because as people, our feelings matter in these situations. She is more than a mom. She is more than a wife. She is more than a doctor. She is more than her occupation. She is a person who matters. And so I just, to seem so beaten down, it really is bothersome to me, and it's hard to watch. And the things that he's saying on social media now, so we go back to this whole moment where he says, I was just speaking out of anger, and that these are awkward jokes that went wrong on film. No, they're not jokes. It's awkward, yeah, but it wasn't a joke. That's not how you joke. I'm not joking about my marriage like that. I'm not joking with my kids like that. It don't make no sense. Those things are crazy to me. But anyway, I could go down this rabbit hole for a long time. What I do know is we got to wait until July the 11th to figure out what's going to happen next. Let me tell y'all, that's 2 weeks away. Next weekend is 4th of July, so we won't get any new episode of the Married to Medicine until July the 11th, the following week, which we will also get the premiere of that good Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, Real Housewives of Potomac will premiere at 8 p.m. I think it's 8. I'm not sure. I got to go back and double check. But we do know it's an hour and 15-minute episode. I don't know, y'all. I don't know why we got to wait so long. But anyway, that's the news for today. That is our recap of Married to Medicine. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments section down below. Shout out to everybody for commenting and for giving your opinion on this tough subject. You know, we hate to see a marriage, you know, kind of go down this path, and hopefully they can work it out. But some things definitely got to change. With that being said, I hope you guys will subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Hit that notification bell button. Y'all know I love y'all if nobody's told you that today. And I will catch you in the next video.